Hello, who's that? Paul Buttrell's joined me.
Hey, Jeff, how you doing?
Going all right, mate. How are you?
I'm okay, mate, but we're on a Google Hangout. We're not on YouTube, which is a bit surprising to me.
Yeah, I don't know how it works. Honestly, don't know.
Well, it's like at the moment where so
We're in a hangout, but we're broadcasting to YouTube.
yeah, this is the problem. I don't know if we are broadcasting to YouTube.
Ah,
Because I can't see it on YouTube, and I can see it in the Hangout. But there's only so many people allowed into the Hangout. It's not the same as being on YouTube.
so that link that I gave you is a
yeah.
link to a hangout, not to YouTube.
Yes.
Right.
This is where we broadcast from. This is like the studio.
Yep.
So right now I'm in the studio with you, and people are listening if they're logged into this. But what we're not seeing is where the studio is broadcasting to, which is what we're really looking for.
I see. Unfortunately, way beyond my
technical
ability.
I'll have a chat with the team because I want it sorted out. So I will. I've got a message into James. As soon as he gets back to work, we'll find out what's going on with this and what's not on YouTube. Okay.
All right, mate. Happy days.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Oh, no problem. So there's a bit of movement going on here. I'm not too sure why. Just let's go back to the Forex Factory and see if we've missed something here. It is, what is the time? It's 8:40 in London, and I don't see anything. Maybe we've got some World Economic Forum news coming out. They've only just sat down, surely. Wouldn't even be morning tea yet, so I don't know what's going on there. But certainly the market has chosen to move a little bit in this second half hour of London session. Let's see what's going on, and do we need to do anything? Euro dollar, we've still got that 4-hour order in place. I'm rather pleased, to be fair, that we've had this retracement before, or certainly before entry, no question there, but I'm rather pleased that we've had it. We'll go to the 4-hour chart firstly and see exactly what we are trading. We're trading the break and retest of the trend line here. And I thought with having our entry above yesterday's daily pivot, we would be okay. And that's proven to be the case so far because the resistance was hit yesterday's daily pivot, it would seem, or DR1. And we've come straight back down to the daily pivot. Now, what's going on right now, as I said, is I have no idea. Maybe it's just a market move, but there seems to be something afoot. Certainly the pound's taken off. Well, it hasn't skyrocketed, but you can see from where we were to where we are now in the space of minutes, something's happened. Maybe someone's pressed the wrong, I don't know. Certainly there's no news that I can see, but maybe that World Economic Forum is underway and somebody said something. Who knows? Anyway, what is there to do? Well, it's kind of ruined my plans on the pound. My plans were, and they were shaping up nicely to trade down to the daily pivot. But now the candles are all over the shop and too big for me to trade, so nothing doing there. If I'm thinking shorter term on the euro than the 4-hour chart, I really don't have anything to do here. There's an old, and when I say old, the time is kind of past. Let me just fix that trade line up for you, or for me, basically. So that's why. So we had this going on, breaking the trend line yesterday and hitting the daily pivot, coming back, not decisively, just certainly a decisive bar, but not decisively back underneath the trade line. Then a retest. That's kind of a short signal, but yeah, too close to the lows for me, and I'm long biased, so I don't see any reason why I should take a half setup, and that's what it is. It's a half setup for me. We haven't had the real decisive break back underneath or the decisive retest, so I'm looking very much still to the long side. And if you need any convincing as to why, it's still because we're getting higher highs and higher lows. So that is the story at the moment. So we'll just hang on to that position on the 4-hour chart and see what transpires. Certainly, there's a little bit of movement today, and that's good. That's a damn good thing. And currently, this bar is looking favourable for a bit of a rally here. And if that's the case, we will hopefully get taken in through our TP1 and on to our target. It's going to be a tough gig, I've got to say, getting through the monthly and the weekly pivot, which are sandwiched together here. But if we do, happy days. We should be away. So that's the end of the euro for now. There's nothing to do. I don't think I'll be doing anything at the top of the hour either. No, I don't really see anything there. I like this scenario: down, down, up. But I can't see myself trading short here at all. So no, not for me. Back to cable. That's looking fairly bullish, is it not? And look, we've been wondering how to get into this safely, into the long. The whole world's looking at the pound long, and that's my issue. I don't want to be. I don't want to be on the same side as everyone else because it tends to get heavy on one side of the boat, and it can tip over. So I'd much rather wait until there's something less obvious. To me, this is not obvious today. The thing I was looking for, as I said before, was a daily pivot test at the very least. But in the long term, well, not even long term, in the bigger picture, I was definitely looking for a deeper retracement. That may not come, and this just may go and go and go and go. I don't know if that's the case. I think the Wave Rider guys, certainly PH has got that covered, and we will see how that pans out. But I'm certainly looking for a deeper retracement than what we've got, and for that reason, I'm staying out. Aussie. Now the Aussie's interesting. Let me have a look at the daily chart here on the Aussie, and I was looking for this current bar, today's bar, to come back and retest the monthly pivot. And had it done so, or if it does so, then tomorrow morning I'll be looking to trade this short. But at the moment, I don't see anything here that interests me at all. Perhaps there is a thought process that gets us back to the pivots. I was kind of looking for that yesterday, but we're a little bit too close to them now. Certainly the monthly pivot. Maybe if we got back above the monthly pivot and retested, that'll look okay. If we got back above the monthly pivot and the trade line, this one here, and then retested the confluence, that would be a trade to the weekly pivot most definitely in the first phase, and maybe even hang on to the highs. I don't know that I'm long biased the Aussie. That's the problem. We've got very strong evidence to suggest that we've got a very toppy situation here. We've got a lower high. We haven't got a second lower high. Well, yes, we do, but it's only a very weak one. It's a little retracement. Maybe it's strong enough. Maybe this retest of this broken trend line is enough to send this cross down. Certainly, that would work in favour of our Aussie yen trade, which is still going. 30-minute chart with about 12 minutes to go before we close today's show. If anything, that's saying maybe bounce to monthly pivot to me, but it's anything but conclusive. I don't see a reversal pattern here. Very loose double bottom, I suppose, if you like. Maybe a higher low sitting here, but it's all very loose. I don't see anything there that's absolutely crystal clear. And that's what I'd like to see. There is a suggestion that there's a trade line coming through here. And, I love to trade dojis, and I love to trade dojis upside down, if you like. If this one obviously has got a longer tail to the high side, that's what I like. The problem here is I'd be trading straight into this resistance area and the high of the day, which is something I just don't do. So it's just a moot point for me. I'd like to be able to get profit here before the monthly pivot, but I can't trade long from this level. It's just not right. The setup is all wrong. Maybe if we get down to here, I'd consider it, but even so, I'm not that keen. There's the hint of an inverted head and shoulders if we come down to this level. Maybe that's the play today. Maybe that is the play today. Maybe we break this trade line, we hit this resistance level, get back underneath, retest that level, and then go short underneath the daily pivot. What's wrong with that? Nothing. There's room for profit there. So that's if that sets up, I'll look to play it that way. If not, no skin off my nose, really. Pound yen. Yeah, look, pound yen, if we go back to the daily chart of Monday, not even Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, yes. That was something we looked at on Monday and said, look, that looks nice, but I'd like to see a weekly pivot test before. Didn't get the weekly pivot test, so no thought of taking that as a trade. And like the pound, of course, it looks to be full of running today at this point anyway. But again, we are at resistance, so I don't know. Weekly pivot's still there. I can't see a way in for me, so I'm going to leave it alone. Euro yen. What's Euro yen look like? Actually, if I draw this line through here, that's not going to look too bad. I've got an issue. Got a control box in the way. There we go. I've got rid of that. If I come down through here, whoops. Got something I like, and that is break, consolidate, re-entry, retest. Issues with this one. The main issue is going to be trading into the pivots. So we need to have a look at that pretty closely. Risk could be about 12, 13 pips if this were to close pretty much on its high. That'd be good. We just haven't got profit before the weekly pivot. Bummer. I think I'll still take the trade. And we've got, 7 minutes and 40 seconds. I'll call this one if it happens. I'll take the trade, but I'll take a very, very early TP1. Let me see if this is lining up the way I need it to line up on the bigger time frames. Yeah, it's not the worst. It's not the best, but it's not the worst. This will look good if I get this right. This will look good tomorrow. Well, maybe even later today, going into New York session. It'll look very good if price gets down to here and then goes back and retest that area. Exactly what I'm looking for on the smaller time frame, right? So I'm looking for exactly that. Retest here. On the bigger time frame, I'm looking for a bigger break, take out the pivots, then go back and retest the trade line, then go short. That would be a better play. But I'll give the 30-minute chart a chance and see if we can actually preempt that move. The tricky part will be, of course, is the stop loss going to be wide enough? That will be the ultimate question. Aussie yen, we've still got Aussie yen going. That survived the... Be only a few days and we'll be able to get rid of this and the chart will look a whole lot better. We've survived thus far we've survived the emotive reaction to the yen news this morning, which of course drove price back up towards the weekly pivot. So far, we've managed to stay off the weekly pivot, which is good. If we can get back underneath this low now, I think we're away. The daily pivot's an issue today, of course, and the news was an issue today and may yet prove to be that. Depends how... well, London's had nearly an hour at it. Depends pretty much on how this all pans out in the next couple of hours, I would have thought. If this returns to bull territory, to bear territory, I think we're in pretty good shape. Stop loss, for those of you following the trade, I've moved it to minus 20 instead of minus 15 where we took our first profit. It's still going to be a little bit positive because we took more than half off at the first take profit. So no matter what happens here, we can't lose, but it'd be really cool if we take out these lows because I think we're away if that's the case. Going to keep the stops exactly where they are. I think they're in the best possible place. If they get taken out, the weekly pivot gets broken, then the highs are probably going to be tested and maybe even the monthly pivot. So I don't think our stops can be in a better position than they are, and they're as vulnerable as they need to be, in my humble opinion. So nothing to do there. If I'm not in this trade and looking at the 30-minute chart, I'm seeing the reaction, of course, to the news. I'm seeing resistance holding in both horizontal and trend line mode. So we've got this level here, former support, now resistance. Trend line 2, nice confluence there. I'm okay with this trade. I think it's pretty cool. And if we can stay down here and get below the daily pivot today, then I think we're in pretty good shape. So we're hanging on to Aussie yen despite that dovish, if you like, news event from Japan, the Bank of Japan. Look, I'm going to do a couple more, and then I'm going to leave you because there's not a whole lot more on offer, I don't believe. Dollar yen's interesting. If there was a trade, I've missed it. And the trade was, and it's a bit loose again. If you're going to call that a double top, you're probably stretching the friendship a little bit. But this is the one that was interesting, the lower high here. For that reason, you know, I don't think I would have taken that trade. Well, two reasons really I wouldn't have taken that trade. One is, really, is that a double top? So is it a reversal pattern? No, I think I'd like to see it at least to there. So let's look for price to get to that level and then give us a retracement lower high, then look to trade it short if that's the way we want to go. And it is probably the way I want to go. I think that's the bias. We're at a strong resistance level. So the only issue for me is the monthly pivot tantalizingly at the next support or resistance level. Maybe that's the question that I'm asking myself. But other than that, I think shorts are really the way to go here. And if that pans out the way I've just described, then happy days. The 4-hour chart, again, is it really giving us that double top? I'm not sure. I'd like to see it go back there and really test that level at DR2, then retrace, give us the lower high, and then go. Euro CAD. Before I look at the CAD, I want to see what oil's doing. And oil's finding a resistance at the pivots. I kind of think we're going to consolidate here for a little bit and not go too far. For that reason, I think this is probably tradable if we can find a reason. And thus far, I see no reason, to be fair. Again, is that a double top? Certainly a bearish engulfing bar. That was probably the lower high. So tiny, tiny candle. You'd have to have big kahunas to take that. Some would, and that's fine. If you got in there, happy days. I'm a little bit on the don't know where this is going side at the moment, so I don't have a reason to trade it. So I'm going to stay out of it. Euro Aussie. Well, I guess if you put the two together, I'm bullish the euro and bearish the Aussie. I've pretty much got to go long here at some stage, don't I? Can I find good reason to do that? Certainly we're in consolidation at the daily pivot. We've got indecisive bars all over the place. This is interesting to me, just a tad, but I think the candle's going to be way too small. Oh, it's actually not. Let me find a reason. There's no real reversal here. Maybe we're looking at a head and shoulders. So maybe we're looking up here somewhere. It's a bit speculative, guys. Let me take a look at that 30-minute chart again. Ooh, it's rugged. What I'm thinking is trading long above that candle there. It's strong enough to get through that. I think it is. And if we take profit quickly, all right, let's take a very, very low risk trade here. We're going to go long at 159.32. So let's bring that in. Look, I'll keep this at a very small rate, quarter of a lot. That's tons. It's really a risky trade. Buy stop. What's the entry again? It's 159.32. And stop loss is what we need. And here at 159.17. Oh, just type it in. It's a lot quicker, isn't it? 117, we're going long, and we don't need to take profit. We're good to go. All right, so our entry is 159.32. Let's put that in. Okay, that's the level. The stop loss is at 159.17. I think I said that. Yep, we're bang on it. We're going to take profit. Let me see. We'll get spreaded. It's a terrible word. About 2 pips on this. So we'll need probably about 8 pips. I'll target that area as our first profit level. Right there. So 159.40, I'll be taking first profit. I will take 50% off the table at that point. No, I'll take 55% off the table at that point. And then I'm going to set a target. The target's going to be 40 pips, bang on. So 159.72. It's going to be the target. Right there. Okay. So we've got Euro Aussie long at 159.32. Take profit 1 is at 159.40. Take 55% off the table and move your stop loss at that point to -8. Is that going to take us to the weekly pivot? Should do. Yeah, still be below the daily pivot, so that's cool. So move your stops to -8, meaning you can only win on that trade if that comes back and takes your stop. And hopefully we'll get up here and challenge the monthly pivot. If that's the case, we're all out and we've got a nice little winner. Righto, what else was I going to look at? It was something else I was going to look at. Oh yeah, Euro Yen. Bugger. Not the candle I want. I wanted that candle to close above trend line. Yeah, I'm going to let that one go. Had it closed here, happy days, I would have taken the trade. But I'm going to let this one go, Euro Yen short, and I don't think there's anything else to do. No. All right, guys, we're good to go. We can look forward now to TTR evening session, if you're going to be with us. That starts tonight at 8:15. No, sorry, that's not right. 11:15 Greenwich Mean Time, 7:15 Singapore, and 10:15 Aussie or Eastern Standard Time in Australia. Australian Eastern Daylight Time is more correct. If you can be with us then, happy days. If not, Ash back with us tomorrow to do this session, and we look forward to your company then. Hope you're winning this week, and if not, then I hope it turns around. Have a great rest of the day, and bye-bye for now.